Hey everyone, and welcome to my review of the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts for the Marvel Avengers Infinity War Gamora. And not only is she a fan favourite of the Guardians of the Galaxy team, of course she played a pivotal role in both the Infinity War and Endgame movies. So I was really glad when Bandai made this announcement, and it really makes a step closer to completing my MCU collection. And a few months ago I did do a top 10 video on all the characters I want Bandai to make to really complete my collection, and I think Gamora was on top of my list alongside a Vision or Nick Fury. And of course we know that Nick Fury is coming out this month as well. So really in this video we're going to just unbox and take a look at the figure, the accessories, the articulation, and then put them side to side with some of the other figures in this line. And looking at the packaging, you can see it's got the usual titles, the stickers, the logos, and then of course that character cutout at the front, which is really nice. And if you look at the previous boxes for the Infinity War, so the likes of Star-Lord and Nebula, they've gone for that same pattern, and the color really matches up with the character. So I really like that. And it's in that standard small box, and I know that for someone like Gamora, she doesn't have that many accessories. So you can see at the front, it kind of wraps round to the side, which I really like as well. And you can see on the side it has all the titles and the logos. And then on the back we have, of course, that figure in different poses. So yeah, let's unbox the Gamora figure and then take a look inside. So you can see normally it's the usual background, and then we have the survey and then the instruction manual to show you how to put on the accessories. We do get a stand this time for SHF, which I really like, and I don't think they've previously done this, at least for the MCU characters. So this is a start, and I know that the Falcon Winter Soldier figures are also going to come with a stand as well. So really nice. I'm going to put this to the side and we'll take a look at it later on. There is the figure inside its packaging. So now we can take a look at the Gamora figure right out of its packaging, and obviously the overall look is there of the character, but the first impressions and the first thing people do focus on is obviously the face sculpt, whether it has the likeness to the character and actress. So I think in terms of the sculpt and the paint job, it is done pretty well, and I don't have complaints with that. But as for the likeness to Zoe Saldana, it can be improved, and that is something that Bandai are a bit inconsistent when it comes to the face sculpts. Some look good, some look bad, and this one is kind of in the middle. I think everyone has their kind of opinions, but what do you think of this one? As for the actual painting, you can see it has all the detail on the face, and the hairstyle is something we've seen previously before, kind of using like a front and back thing to connect them together, as well as a bottom half. And then in terms of the attire, you can see it is a jacket on the outside, which is movable. It's a hard plastic, which goes all the way around to the back. And then you can see inside the middle is the t-shirt, and then we have the white shirt underneath, and then we have all the belts, and then kind of swerve to the side, and then we have the sheath here to hold on to the sword, and I believe it's removable, so you have to take it all off, which is for display. And then obviously you put on the other one when she's actually holding onto the sword, which I'll do now. And then to the bottom you can see different shadings of the black, and then obviously for the boots it's in a different material as well. So that's the kind of full look of Gamora. In terms of the likeness, I think it's not too bad, but it can be improved. So we're going to take a look at the other accessories later on, but first we're going to try out the articulation, which is obviously something that's pretty good on SH Figuarts. In terms of articulation, they're probably one of the best companies to do it, alongside Mafex. So yeah, we're going to do that now, and we're going to start off with the head sculpt. So obviously it goes side to side, albeit with the hairstyle kind of in the way, so you kind of be quite careful. And then it does tilt forwards and upwards as well, although the hair can look a bit awkward when it's tilting upwards. And then of course side to side slightly, so it's kind of limited since she has this long hairstyle. And then for the arms, so stretches side to side, and then they can be moved forwards and backwards and then rotated. And then for the actual elbows, they do bend, and then there's a swivel as well, goes all the way around. And then for the hand, it's the same, swivel, and of course there is a kind of articulation there to go in, so kind of what you expect. And then for the waist, there is a good movement in terms of the top half. You can swerve it side to side along with the jacket, and then of course side to side this way. And then for the waist, it can be twisted as well, and of course be bent forwards and backwards as well. Backwards probably not so much since she has the jacket, but I guess Gamora, you don't really need too much articulation for that. The legs of course kick forwards, and they can be rotated and then stretched side to side. The sheath has just fallen off, put that to the side. And then of course in terms of backwards, probably not too much again with the jacket in the way, so you're going to just have to bend the leg which goes over the jacket. Guess you don't really again need this pose. And then slight swivel for the actual boots at the bottom. Of course there's a hinge at the front of the toe, and then the actual boots go all the way around 360 and then side to side. Basically all the articulation is standard for this figure, and I think for a character like Gamora you don't actually need too much. It's not like a Spider-Man or Iron Man where you really need to pose them into some really dynamic poses. So that's the articulation done, and now we can focus on the rest of the accessories. So here are all the accessories that come with the figure. We have a alternate head sculpt, the quad blaster, which is for Star-Lord, a sword, a switchblade, the sheath, and a bunch of alternate hands. So here is the first set of alternate hands, which is the open palms. And then we have a alternate left hand, which is snapping of the fingers, kind of mimicking her father, Thanos. And the last set of hands can be used for holding on to the sword as well as the switchblade. And here are some poses with the sword. So here is the switchblade in the hand, and you can see it fits nicely on. And here is the alternate head sculpt, and as you can see, it's actually an improvement to the original. At least in my opinion, I think this one is a lot better. Not only are the eyes looking to the side, you can see the mouth is slightly open. It kind of gives her that expression, and the character is kind of there. So I'll probably use this as my main head sculpt. And you can also see that the hairstyle is slightly wavy. They've given this kind of effect, which is kind of pushed to the side, and that's kind of cool as well. So the only thing you really need to change is the top half. The bottom half of the hair remains the same. And not only that, if you look at the hairstyle, it's not just the head sculpt. You can actually remove the face, so you can actually use the face on both the hairs. So if you want the normal face on the wavy hair, you can do that as well. You just need to remove the hairstyle and then just remove the front, and then you can kind of change it up. So you have the wavy hairstyle with the normal face if you want, and if you want the normal hairstyle with the better face, you can also do that, which I may do. So just place the bottom half of the hair, and then you place the head on top, and you can see you have the better head sculpt on the standard hair. So I'll definitely keep this face sculpt for my main pose. And the last piece of accessory is the quad blaster, which is actually for Star-Lord, obviously from that Infinity War scene where he shoots the bubbles towards Thanos. And this is actually pretty good. They're kind of following the trend of Mayfex, where they give you accessories for different figures. So I'm really happy for Bandai to be doing that. Hopefully they'll do more of this in the future. So you can see it has the quad blaster, pretty much similar to the Star-Lord version, and then you have the bubbles in sort of like a transparent pink and white color. And the bubbles are actually attached onto the quad blaster, you can't remove them. So this is the accessory unique for itself. So yeah, really excited to put this onto Star-Lord and obviously create that pose again. And the last piece of accessory is the purple stand, which I think blends really well with the green of Gamora. So you can see it has this transparent plastic connected on. Obviously this is good for certain dynamic and jumping poses, but to me I'm not too bothered, to be honest, since they didn't include any stands in the previous MCU figures. So I think if I start using stands for Gamora, it will kind of look out of place. But I guess this is kind of the way forward for the Bandai SH Figuarts. So I guess there's no harm in having a stand. So now for some side-by-side comparisons. Next to the SHF Infinity War Nebula, as well as the SHF Infinity War Star-Lord. So the only one I'm missing from the Guardians team is Rocket Raccoon at the moment. And then we can also try it next to the Infinity War SHF Thanos, as well as the Endgame Final Battle Edition of Thanos as well. So both of these figures obviously tower over Gamora. The SHF Iron Man Mark III. So your standard Iron Man armor. And we also have a Marvel Legends Iron Man 3 Pepper Potts, which looks pretty good as well. And then we're going to try it with some Mafex figures. So I don't have any of the Marvel characters, so I'm going to have to put it next to a Superman from the Justice League, as well as the Batman figure. So both of these are the Justice League Mafex, just so that you get an idea of how tall Gamora is. And altogether, next to the main characters, she'll be posed with the SHF Infinity War Thanos, Star-Lord and Nebula. So now for my overall thoughts on the SH Figuarts Infinity War Gamora. I'm going to say I'm satisfied with this figure. I actually had more joy posing and playing around with this, more so than some of the previous Infinity War and Endgame figures. It obviously feels like a brand new figure. It is the first time we've seen a Gamora, so it feels really fresh and worthy adding to my collection. The face sculpt isn't the best, but the likeness is there. I particularly like the alternate face with the eyes to the side and the mouth slightly open. It really gives it that character, something we don't always see in the past. And the face is also interchangeable with the hairstyles, which is a big plus. As for the accessories, the sword and the alternate hands are standard, but the fact that you get a quad blaster and a switchblade, which are also suited for the other SHF figures, makes it a really worthy purchase, with the blaster for Star-Lord and the blade for Thanos, both very memorable scenes in Infinity War. And when you put this figure next to the others like Nebula, Star-Lord, Thanos all together, it really boosts my display with all these different vibrant colours. And if you add Raccoon, Groot, Drax or Mantis, I think this would be a fantastic display, even when I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians. And I feel that Gamora is too important of a character to be left out in my collection, and it is really the heart of this team. So therefore my final score is going to be a 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, comment and subscribe. Also check out my links for more SH Figuarts content below. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon.